Hi, everyone. I'm your host, Patty Giarrusso, and this is Let's Talk Pets on Society Bites Radio. Today, we welcome to our show Julie Gullickson, and I hope I'm saying that right, Julie, from Lost Cats
Yes.
of America. I always interview Kathy Poblowski from Lost Dogs of America, so this is our first time welcoming Lost Cats of America to the show, and I'm excited to talk with you about the differences with the lost cats versus the lost dogs because I know I do both on my organization and cats are completely different than dogs. So Julie is the co-founder of Lost Cats of America and she volunteers with Helping Lost Pets, which is the umbrella on above, I guess you would say, the Lost Dogs and Lost Cats of America that helps with the flyers and all of the great things they do. So she volunteers with them. And she's also started Lost Cats of Minnesota, Lost Cats of Iowa, and Lost Cats of Michigan. So welcome to the show, Julie.
Hi, thank you.
Yeah, so
It's nice to be here.
yeah, I'm glad to talk with you because, most of my focus is always about the dogs, and I've been wanting to talk, a little bit more about cats because, we do have a ton of lost cats where I am in the two counties that I do. And, we offer a lot of suggestions and a lot of helpful ideas to people, but I'd love to hear, some of the ways that you work with, your organizations and maybe you've got some good tips that you can tell us that we don't know about. But first off, I'd like to know how did you get started doing this and how did you get involved with helping lost pets?
Yeah, hi. I started helping lost pets or volunteering with them back in 2014. I had never heard of Lost Cats of Wisconsin. That's the first page that I started volunteering with, or how I kind of got my foot in with helping lost pets. But my aunt had lost her cat. And, being upset and, she didn't know what to do. Well, what do? You try to look for your cat maybe, and then where do you go from there? And so one of her friends had mentioned, have you tried posting it on Lost Cats of America or Lost Cats of Wisconsin? And my aunt's telling me this, and I'm like, Lost Cats of Wisconsin, what's this? Some kind of a weird bad cats page or something. I didn't know what it was. So I looked it up, and I'm like, oh, neat. I looked at the website for Helping Lost Pets, that's where you generate the flyers for. And so my aunt did that. She went through the process. They helped her out. Eventually, about a month later, her cat was found. She did find the cat about a month later, thanks to tips, the flyers being posted. But when I went in and I was helping her fill out the flyer, I just thought it was the neatest thing. I'm like, here you put your information in, and they totally generate a 100% free flyer. If you go to their website, they've got a map search where you can put in your area code and search for dogs, cats, whatever you're looking for. I just thought it was the neatest thing. Well, being that I'm from Wisconsin, the page at the very bottom, they kind of introduce themselves on the page, and it says, if you're interested in volunteering, let us know. And I thought, heck yeah. So I messaged the page, and the rest is history. They trained me. They got me going on this. I've met so many great people, and and then I just went forward from there.
Okay, so I was looking at the Lost Cats of America Facebook page, and I noticed that you got quite a lot of states now signed up doing this, just like the Lost Dogs of America. How many states are involved right now?
I don't know, and we've added a couple since the last time I counted. It's 20-some states, I believe. I think we're around the halfway or just over the halfway mark with the states. For example, Iowa just joined our little union. I believe that was earlier this year, and I think there was one or two others that are in there. And then we also have the Canada provinces. I know this is for America, but I'm trying to keep track of which ones have started. But yeah, there's. I want to say we're in the 20s. We're a little over halfway, I think, by now.
That's great. Yeah. So what are some of the methods that you use or that you suggest to people as far as, I know that lost cats are quite different than lost dogs, and how, depending on the personality or whatever you want to call it that a cat has, where it might be found, and what are some of the techniques that you suggest to people?
Well, when it comes to cats, obviously they're a different animal than a dog. The dog pages, I think they put out there that dogs are going to take off and run. That is polar opposite from cats generally. I always say not 100% of the time, but most of the time, if a cat's going, especially indoor cats, if they're going to get outside, they're generally within a block or two of your home. Cats are masters at hiding. So if you know your cat has gotten outside, your better bet is and they're probably scared, especially if they're not used to the outdoors, they're going to hide and somewhere nearby. So the best time to look for your cat, we always say, is around dusk. When things start quieting down, less traffic on the roads, less people walking around. Get out there with a flashlight. Start looking under porches in your general area, even within your yard, your neighbor's yard. Communication's key. Talk to your neighbors. A lot of times, so many times on our pages, we have people who have said, "Oh, my neighbor spotted my cat, and together, we worked together to coax her out from under their porch," time and time again. Or another big one is, your neighbors, sometimes the cat will wander into their garage or shed, and then they'll close up the garage not realizing the cat's in there. Talk with your neighbors. Have permission to go check out their yard, or go with the neighbor to check out the garages. So many stories we've had on all these different states where the cat was accidentally locked in the garage. If you are traveling with your cat and the cat gets out of the car or out of his carrier, generally, not 100% of the time, but generally, the cat's going to be in the area where it was lost. It's not just going to take off and run if it's scared, not used to being, outside. It's going to try to hunker down somewhere safe. That's kind of the difference between cats and dogs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One of the things that I've come to notice, and I just was updating the webpage, and we kind of separate them by color. It just makes it so much easier when somebody's trying to search. And I was noticing that, I hadn't done it in a while, the albums on our Facebook. I was just updating the albums on our webpage. And I noticed that there seemed to be this thing where there were cats, it kept happening over and over again, like 30 days, 40 days, 50 days, they were lost. And then they just stroll on home, Yep. I mean, a good part of the time they just came home. Now, a lot of them were found, and but it was a long time, so we always like to tell people, don't give up hope, never give up hope,
Right, that is one of our key phrases. We always tell people that, and we'll see it even other people have come to use that, never give up hope. That's the beauty of being in this organization. That's one thing that I, as a volunteer, I thrive on. It keeps me going. And the other volunteers, we kind of have my team that I work with. We work closely together. We talk on a daily basis within our pages and stuff. We never give up hope. We're almost like, you got to kind of picture, we're kind of a beacon of light for those who have given up hope. Those people, when an owner loses their pet, and as pet lovers, we know a piece of your heart's missing. You're worried about them. That's your child. That's your fur baby. We're there to help give them the hope and the tools to use to try to get that pet, find that pet, go out and look for that pet, stay in contact with the shelters and with your neighbors to try to bring them home, to give them that piece of hope, almost like, as if you will, a candle in the window. Just to so many times we've had people thank us. Thank you for being there. Thank you for these suggestions. When I lost all hope, you guys have given me the perseverance just to keep moving forward. It gave me something to do and the tools to work with. So they're very thankful for that.
Yeah, that's true. And it's good that, your organization has such a good team that continues to, try to boost people up, because they do get sad. Well, they start out sad to begin with, but as the time goes by, they do sometimes just decide, oh, you can take it down, you can take the flyer down, they're never coming home. And then we see the good story that one comes home after 90 days and that just boosts everybody right back up again. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, that's such a
Help
needed
also
thing.
has right. Oh yeah, it's important to never give up. You just don't know. We've had on a couple different of the pages that I help manage even today. There are a couple owners whose cats have been missing 2 years, 2.5 years. I can think of a couple owners right now off the top of my head, and we don't. If they don't give up, we don't give up. We
Right.
always put the pet first, and we're right there alongside with the owner. We are there for them. I mean, that is our big thing. I think that's what makes us kind of successful, at least the team that I know that I work with, and I think pretty much all the volunteers with help have that kind of attitude. We're going to put the animal first,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously work with the owner. But if they say, hey, I know it's a long shot, I filed a report with you 2 years ago. I can think of one owner right now. I think she's going on 3 years. If she brings that back to our attention, we will post that flyer again on the page and say still missing as of such and such date. We'll do that, as long as they want. If they're not giving up hope, we're not going to give up hope. And we just encourage them not to, because you don't know. Yeah, some of these stories, we have a Facebook page, Help has amazing reunions on Facebook there. If you go to that page, there's stories, the cat stories, the dog stories, that the states, people who are monitoring those pages will post on there, and some of these stories will bring tears to your eyes. I mean, of how their animal came home after a year, and it's really neat to see that. It's really wonderful, and I think as volunteers that we thrive on that. That's like a yes, fist pump,
Yeah,
another one home. We like that.
absolutely. Yeah, I know that's the best part of the day. It sure is. Yeah. So what do you think is, I know this is a tough question, but when I just saw this 30, 40, 50, 60-day thing, because we put the banners across our flyers, and I was looking at them, I'm going, holy cow. What do you think is it's hard to tell an average time, I think, for a missing cat, but I always wonder about it.
Well, I don't know. I guess it depends. That is a hard question.
Yeah.
I'm going to say these are going to be the generalizations. Generally, I'm going to put them in 3 different categories for you. If the cat's going to come home right away, it's within 1 to 2 days. 1, 2, 3 days. It is. It's a couple days. If they're going to come home right away. Sometimes people will post a lost, and then they're like, oh wait, never mind. There she is at the door.
Yep,
and it's like 6 hours later.
Yeah.
So obviously we're thrilled with that. Then there's the mid-range, and the mid-range is more, I don't know, probably I'd say a week to within a month. Just whatever happens, it's just the cat, gets out, has a good time. Maybe not even so much as a month. I'm going to say 1 to 2 weeks. That's more the mid-range. I'd say the longer term is probably from a month on. Like my aunt's cat. I think he was missing about 4 or 5 weeks, and then finally a neighbor, saw one of the flyers and said, hey, I think that's your cat, and that's how she found it. But yeah, I would say, we do get a lot 1 to 2 weeks. And then usually with those 1 to 2 week ones, those are the really interesting stories. Those are the ones where, oh, my neighbor thought it was a stray cat. So she brought it in, made up a found flyer. And I made up the lost poster. And, oh, by golly, a matchmaker came along, or one of us, or either one of us saw each other's flyer, and then that's how we got, or just word of mouth. And then those longer term ones, yeah, those are just by miracle. And I don't want to say miracles, but sometimes, cats are pretty resilient. They're pretty good with being outdoors. So there are some stories. We do get some stories. I'd say the majority of them fall, if they're going to come home,